We had downside and potential upside risks there. The downside is that concern perhaps about inflation and the influence on inflation expectations. Then to the top side, potentially overheating, and I'm sure the fiscal stimulus plays in the short term to that too. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think you're kind of in this middle ground where there's a lot more uncertainty heading into the new year. We've got a change in leadership, and that should actually be a relatively smooth transition, at least in the first half of 2018. We don't expect any changes to the unwinding of the balance sheet, for example. But things get more uncertain as you look out beyond the middle of next year. We know that we're going to have some new faces at the Fed. Once Yellen leaves, there'll be 3 slots open on the Board of Governors. And we know that the 2 dissenting votes in December, the 2 doves, are going to rotate off the Federal Open Market Committee. Yellen, we think, is a little bit more on the dovish side. So all in all, it's probably going to be a little bit more hawkish tilt as we go forward in 2018. Now, you mentioned the fiscal stimulus. It's very uncertain how much of stimulus we're going to actually see on the economy in 2018, but certainly the hawks are going to want to prepare for that and perhaps raise rates a little sooner rather than later. So I think how the markets adjust to this, what happens to long-term rates, these are really much a clouded part of the outlook.
Yeah, it certainly is. What did you make of their lack of progress when it comes to determining why inflation remains so stubbornly low, unable to get to that 2% target?
Well, there's been some clear factors in the last few years, slack in the labor market, a strong dollar, low commodity prices. All of those things are now behind us. So you would have expected inflation to really pick up a bit more in 2017, and it didn't. So, if you heard Yellen speak about this, she says, well, these temporary factors certainly are behind us, but we don't really know. Maybe something fundamentally has changed. And if we do get a more hawkish Fed going forward, the markets are going to expect that 2% goal is really going to be more of a ceiling. And so the market expectations of inflation will be even lower than that 2% goal. And that could be a problem for the Fed, I think, going forward.